We spent the last week or so in Palm Coast with my family again. Now we are back in Siesta Key because Andrew, who Steve's playing his upcoming shows with.
Andrew James, check out the link.
Andrew James, incredible
Amazing.
singer, songwriter, all-around musician, producer, and very dear friend. They're gonna be playing a few shows together. And Andrew and his fiance Kate, who's my longtime friend from Nashville, are in Siesta Key right now staying at Kate's parents' condo. So we were like, why don't we just head out, hang out? We were only 3 hours away. They've been doing some music stuff, a funny project. Do you even want to talk about it?
We can't.
Okay, we won't talk about it yet. Okay, so anyway,
it's gonna be great.
This morning it's exciting because we just boondocked at a Walmart parking lot and I loved it. That's the first time we've ever parked overnight at a Walmart. I loved it. It's like in a complex with a... that's absolute spam. Should I spam them? Hello?
Don't say hello.
Hello? Hello? Anyway, this morning is exciting because there's a Ringling Museum in, I guess, Sarasota, right?
Yeah.
And they have free day today, so you don't have to pay to go in. Kate has been raving about it, saying how cool it is. So we're gonna go get some coffee and then go to this museum. But yeah, boondocking at Walmart. We had never stayed at a Walmart before. We've only done Cracker Barrel, and that worked out great. But Walmart, it just felt safe. It was a clean,
big old empty, clean
area and like other businesses in the lot as well, and they just all, it was well lit all night long, and it just felt safe, you know. The one thing I didn't see was there were no rigs that had their slides out, but I don't think any of the ones that were parked in that lot had slides. I always feel a little bit weird letting our slide out when we're boondocking. I don't know, because it just, suddenly we're taking up more space. I just have to get used to it.
I asked for the big one. Look at my hand.
Maybe it's really strong. This place is unreal. I feel like we're in Paris. Oh my gosh. Who'da thunk?
Almost there. No. Up. Good. Just keep going.
Whoa, that is an epic photo.
Oh, a baby title. All right, he's camped out in his.
Yeah, this is a nice little fort. I would pick this spot.
This is magical. Why would you ever leave?
Come on over.
Cheers. Gator bites. I've never had gator bites before. Ooh, sweetie, let's get our bites.
Oh yeah, my mom's there. They've been there for 24 years.
I just like chicken. Oh, that's good.
Well, good morning, campers.
Oh, slightly new setup. We got this really cool bracket that's attached to the windshield. I'll link it. Now I don't have to like cramp my arm holding the camera up. We're on our way to Starbucks right now, hunting for internet. So we've been in Siesta Key, Sarasota for the last few days, and unfortunately T-Mobile is just not thriving in Sarasota. So I've had like videos to upload, I've had work that I need to be getting done, and it's been so slow. And we have that MiFi device from T-Mobile that's like supposedly its own wireless internet hub, and nothing, like not even a meg download speed. I've had to like email people, say sorry, I can't get this thing to you tonight, like we'll have to just find a place, like, so we're on our way to find a Starbucks so I can do that. Anyway, we thought we had found the perfect way to stay on the Gulf Coast.
Yeah.
We always call ahead whenever we're gonna be boondocking someplace, whether it's a Walmart or a Cracker Barrel. I always call. I speak to a human being and I say, do you guys allow overnight parking for RVs? So we did that. We called a Walmart in Sarasota, just 15 minutes from Turtle Beach on Siesta Key, which is like the southern side of Siesta Key. And it's great down there because it's less crowded. Most of the people hang out right where you enter Siesta Key, but if you just keep going south, there's a great little beach called Turtle Beach, and there's a lot that you can park in with your RV just for the day though. At midnight you have to move it. So anyway, we find this Walmart, I call them, they say, yes, absolutely. there's other rigs out there right now. Like, you guys are fine. Just park far away from the building so that when the store opens, you're not taking up like valuable parking spots. Excellent. Cool. So we go, and we're just experiencing the joys of being parked at a Walmart because we don't tow a vehicle. So going grocery shopping or running errands, it's not really an option for us unless it's within biking distance. And then if the weather's bad, blah, blah, blah. So it was great to just be parked right there. We could walk into Walmart if we needed something. So we would stay the night and then pack up the next morning, go to Turtle Beach. During Walmart business hours, we're over at Turtle Beach where you are legally allowed to park in this dirt lot. There was always RVs there, so we didn't feel like we were the only ones. So the third night, we're loving it. We're like, oh my gosh, I love parking at Walmart. It's so great. So last night, we finish up at Turtle Beach. It's like 8:30 or 9, and we go back to the Walmart, and the same spot we've been parking at the far back side of the parking lot is wide open. We pull in, we put the jacks down, we let the slide out. I'm inside sweeping when I hear like a commotion outside. Now I know Steve's out there getting all the outside stuff ready. I go out the door to see what's going on, and Steve's like coming in saying, I can't deal with this, we're leaving. This guy's gonna call the police on us. Rewind just a little bit to yesterday morning. When we were getting ready to leave for Turtle Beach, a guy pulls in a pickup truck and says, hey, how long are you guys planning on staying here? Just like this guy who was a maintenance guy for that particular complex. And he's saying that there's been big rigs parking, taking up really great parking spots and not moving. There's been motorhomes parked there that the people seem to just be storing their motorhomes there. Like, there's not even anyone inside when they knock. They're like, we're trying to discourage people from parking in this particular area because Walmart shares a parking lot with a Bell's and like other small businesses, but we were on the Walmart side, or so we thought. So the guy says, you guys are totally fine to be here for another night. You shouldn't have a problem, but I would say tomorrow night, just make sure you move fully over onto the Walmart side of the parking lot. So we're like, oh, no problem. Who cares? The guy was super sweet about it. And he was like, you're not the problem. It's these people that are just storing their RVs here. Cool, I get it. Back to last night when Steve's telling me this guy's gonna call the police. I go outside and there's this guy in his pickup truck driving away, and I kind of hurry up to the car to see what's going on. He's rolling down the window, so he's willing to chat with me. And he's just kind of got this angsty he's like, you all, apparently to Steve, he says, you all can't live here, you know? And then I go up to him and I'm like, okay, can you tell me what's going on? And he's like, well, you all have been parked here all day, every day for like a week. And I'm like, okay, we literally just pulled in here. We've only spent 2 nights here, and it has only been overnight, not during business hours. The only overlap with business hours has been maybe a half an hour in the morning when we're packing up to leave to go to Turtle Beach. We've been at Turtle Beach all day, every day. And then he goes, oh yeah, that's what your husband said. Well, you know, these people, and then he starts complaining about the other people that are parked there. He starts talking about how much he pays in rent to have a shop at this location. And I'm like, listen, I'm sorry that you're frustrated and you're having to deal with all this. It seems to be a long-standing issue with you and maybe the property management people or whatever. But we personally called Walmart ahead and asked if it was okay that we park. We never just barge in and park wherever we want. Like, we asked first, and they told us it was fine. And then the maintenance guy that came by this morning to ask us what our deal was told us that if we just parked all the way on the Walmart side, we would be fine. And then he started getting more agitated and saying things, and I was just like, listen, there's not even signs here. He's like, yes, there are. And I was like, we didn't see any signs. Where are the signs? And he said, oh, well, they're mostly in the back where the semis are parking. Okay, literally behind the building. Like, we were in the front all the way out towards the road, like farthest away from the shops. And I was like, and we're only parking overnight. You're not losing business or parking spots because of us. And then he starts complaining more about the other people, and I'm like, well, I just, you know, he was just like riled up and he's like, well, you guys, you know, you're setting a precedent by staying here. And I'm like, oh, it was just one of those things where I could understand how, as a business owner that pays a lot of rent, to see the parking lot they're paying for taken up by RVs that are just never moving, semis that are just never leaving, but you can't just take it out on everyone. There were no signs posted where we were parked, anywhere near where we were parked. We did get permission from Walmart to park there. We did get a second green light from the maintenance guy that works the property. We ended up leaving just because once that sort of drama kicks up, neither of us are comfortable hanging around. So we found a Cracker Barrel like 10 minutes away, and this Cracker Barrel looked like an RV park. Like when we pulled around back, there were so many rigs back there. And then Steve had a fun little encounter with a woman who, do you want to tell this part?
Yeah, I mean, and it was one of those evenings.
So we have been having a lot of trouble with our batteries. Our batteries are dying ridiculously fast. We think there's something wrong with them. Luckily, we will be replacing them soon, but part of what we have to deal with when we're boondocking is we have to start the generator every few hours, because even if we're not using anything, like LP switches off, TV's off, anything that takes power we're not using, and the battery still starts beeping after a couple hours, so we have to start the generator. So we were having all this trouble starting the generator last night. It got pretty hot in the RV, and we just wanted to run the AC for a couple minutes to cool it down, but the AC was killing the generator, which we've never dealt with before. Steve was troubleshooting with the generator, and one of our RV neighbors in the parking lot at the Cracker Barrel heard the struggle, came over to help.
This guy comes and knocks on the door, and I thought it was going to be another complaint or something. It was the busiest Cracker Barrel that we've ever been to. They had like 19 or 20 different RVs all in this tight little space. So I was really aware of the fact that we were starting our generator and it was kind of dying, and starting it again and it's dead quiet. We hear a knock on the door, and I was already on edge from the dude over at Walmart who was really rude. But now it's like 9:30ish. Thankfully it was this guy named Joe, and he said, you know, I could tell that your generator is idling too high. I could tell by the sound of it. You know, it turns out he works on motorbikes, and he's like, that's his whole living is everything motorcycles. And he brought his big long screwdriver over him and helped me adjust it. And whilst we're doing this, this older lady is standing behind him with like her hands on her hips, really like
like maybe 100 feet away.
Yeah, maybe
in the parking lot.
Yeah, she was like just like that super entitled, if I'm unhappy, everybody's got to bow down. Very passive aggressive vibe. So we just kind of like waved to her. We're like, hi, and she doesn't say anything. She just kind of goes, you know, and then walks away. At this point, we become friends with Joe and his wife, and then now we're letting the generator run a little bit just to kind of, you know, make sure it's okay.
And we don't have a very loud generator.
No, it's not that loud.
It's not that loud.
And a gentleman that was actually close, like right next to us, came out with his dog, and he was like, oh, that's fine, I don't even hear it. So we weren't getting any complaints or anything. And we're standing around, and she comes back again, and this is the first like really negative experience. Yesterday was the day for super negative experiences with people. Like we haven't
feel it. Ugh.
Yeah, like we haven't had that. There's been a couple awkward, uncomfortable moments, but nothing really like aggressive. So this lady comes around and she's yelling now at us, saying that people around here are trying to rest. You're out here
getting drunk and stoned.
So I just told her, look, I don't drink, so stop making assumptions about people you don't know anything about. She's talking over me, shouting, saying that she's a frontline nurse, she's a COVID nurse, as if that would somehow excuse her behavior. It was just a really negative exchange. And I was venting some of my frustrations that I had for this guy who I had a bit of a back and forth with as well over at Walmart. I think I was venting that frustration towards her as well. It was just the wrong place, wrong time. She got in her rig and actually left, but then she called the cops on us. So then a sheriff rolls around asking, you know, I got a call about some noise. He was really gracious. Like, we told him what happened.
I think it might have been someone else that was parked there that heard her yelling.
Could have been. Yeah, because he said that he got a call about, you know, there's a disturbance and there's like a noise.
Yeah, I think it might have been someone calling on her, because our little group of people that were standing around like chatting and with the generator running, we were very close to our rig and quiet. We weren't yelling or being ridiculous, but when she came out, she was yelling.
Yeah.
Like that was loud.
She was being really loud and vulgar, and you have days out here that really test you. And I think that full-time RV living, it's not always the mechanical stuff. Sometimes it's a combination of things going wrong with your rig mixed with really negative people getting kicked out of different spots. With boondocking, you run into more of that, obviously, because it's not designated spots. We haven't boondocked very much, and so this has been a lot of boondocking recently. Since the RV Expo, we've actually boondocked more recently.
And right when we start to enjoy it, yesterday happened.
For anybody who's watching this who's kind of thinking about getting into it, that's another very real aspect that you have to consider, is you're going to run into conflict and confrontation with people who just want to be grumpy and shout. Just gotta let it kind of roll off your back best you can.
Yeah, I had this naive idea that like, oh, as long as you call ahead, get permission, you know, be courteous, everything will be fine.
Yeah.
Not necessarily.
Yeah, not necessarily.
Other people have their own issues going on at all times, and we're all living in these tiny little houses on wheels, and tensions can be high.
But all in all, we made some really cool new friends. We got to share our stories and lives. Ultimately, that's what it's about as well, with the community, you know, getting to know people from all walks of life who are all just nomads in this country, just traveling around. Everyone's got their different reasons, and I think that's quite interesting. So that's a silver lining to take away from everything last night.
As far as the generator, we're gonna take it in to get service, and the batteries we're gonna swap out in a few weeks. We're actually gonna buy some lithium batteries off the new states, which is amazing. Everyone says it's such a game changer to upgrade your batteries. Finally, we're gonna have probably a better setup for boondocking in the future. But for now, we're at Starbucks, gonna get some work done, and then we don't know, maybe the beach, maybe we'll see how much we can get done here. It's really nice out.
Yeah, we got a kind of a chill day, so we're gonna try to enjoy it, get some work done, and then see where the next road takes us.
Yeah. Woohoo!
Okay, here we go. Come from here.
Hey, thank you, Mommy.